Hola, Brandy here.
Hey, it's Steve here, back here on SF Land to talk about events and some other things. And we're going to kick right off by talking about something that's been going on this past week. So tell us something, Randy.
So just this past weekend, I was at a wine tasting event and holiday party at Frame Art Studio. It's at 150 Silman off Silver Avenue. I got to show my artwork there and had lots of snacks and wine, and it was really a really great event. I showed this print along with several others and made a sale, and this one is also available for purchase. Thank you so much. So it was really great. One of the fellow artists there, she goes under Chimera's Charms on Facebook, and she had these beautiful jewelry pieces, kind of steampunk inspired. Some were Doctor Who, some were Alice in Wonderland. So a lot of famous literary references were in these art pieces, and they were just like put together really well. So I'd recommend checking out her wonderful jewelry. How about you? What did you do?
Well, since you've talked about yourself, I'll talk about myself too. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun. I presented Elvis Presley Tribute Night that was the 50th anniversary of what's known as his 1968 comeback special. And I'm quite proud of it. Man, everybody had a great time, as did the presenter, although it was a lot of work. The band that I have hooked up with, that is a trio, that's the backbone, Hank Manninger, Mitch Polzak, Les James. They're just so fantastic. They play with all kinds of different musicians and different bands. They can have people just come in and they just pick right up. So they played some songs themselves, and then we had 4 guest singers. Ben Funk Torres. People were really people came because they know his name, that he's a well-known writer from Rolling Stone magazine and local personality. But people are surprised that not only would he get up on stage and sing Elvis, but that he's very good. And punk legend Jello Biafra, a lot of people were really excited to see him. Steve Yerke does a fantastic Elvis, and then Lee Crow, who's also known as Elvis Herselvis, recreated Elvis's final number, If I Can Dream, in the white suit. It was just as emotional as I hoped it would be. Brought the house down. So I just had such a high that everybody loved it so much. And now it's on to something else. So thank you for asking.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to hear. I'm glad that the last song, I remember you talked about it last week, and it was all you hoped for.
It was good. Okay, so we're going to get into things happening now and this week. So first we're going to focus on film. I'll start talking about a film in current release called Ben is Back. And before I talk about it, here's some pieces from the trailer.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Hi, Mom.
I see you. Is it you?
Is that Ben?
Did you see? He's gained some weight and he's got the sparkle back in his eyes. He's clearly doing better.
Yeah, then why are you hiding everything?
We said we weren't going to do this again, remember?
I agree. And if it weren't Christmas, you get a day. This time tomorrow, you are back in sober living.
Yeah, okay.
You do not leave my sight ever. Because for the next 24 hours, you are mine, all mine. Got it?
I got it. Hey, Burns! I thought you were dead. Holy... Oh my God! I put my family in danger.
This is on you.
If I don't deal with this, then it could be worse next time.
Okay. You go in, pay the man, and get right back out.
Lock the door.
So Ben is Back is basically a drama, although it's got some light moments, but it definitely deals with serious subject matter and serious characters, that is based around a young adult that is making a surprise visit to his home. He has been in rehab for drug addiction, and the mom is played by Julia Roberts. The whole cast is really good. Julia has one of these roles where she's like tough as nails, but still very soft on the inside. The young man is played by Lucas Hedges, and he got his first major film role in Wes Anderson's Moonrise Kingdom. I knew it was going to come back to me. He went on to an Oscar nomination for Manchester by the Sea. He also stars in the current film Boy Erased. And he is also the son of the film's writer-director, Peter Hedges. And he got his start with doing the screenplay from his own novel, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, a movie that people probably remember. And he had an earlier film that also portrayed a dysfunctional family around the holidays that was called Pieces of April. It was Thanksgiving. This is Christmas, because the son arrives on December 24th, and the film takes place through Christmas Eve and into Christmas Day. I've seen the film. I definitely recommend it. Excellent performances. Deals with a serious issue of drug addiction. Actually, there's a scene in the movie where Julia Roberts basically kind of reveals the fact that her son was initially prescribed prescription, painkillers for like a sports accident. So it also deals with that very, current issue in our society of addiction to opioids. And the film eventually takes a very suspenseful turn. So definitely recommend it. Ben is back playing in select theaters and in San Francisco right now at the Embarcadero and the Kabuki. So that's my film.
Nice. That does sound like a very interesting film to see and well worth it. I have one film that I've seen it too. It's called Roma. This film is actually available on Netflix, but I saw it in the theater and I think it's well worth the experience. It's directed by Alfonso Cuarón, and it is about a Mexican family and their housekeeper named Cleo. And it deals with their difficulties dealing with men in their lives. And it's a very good roller coaster to ride on. The emotions definitely are invoked, and it's a stunning film. It's all done in black and white. Got 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, so the critics are really liking it, and I highly recommend it. It's also being showed here in San Francisco at the Embarcadero Center and the Presidio Theater. So I would definitely check it out.
I know that's another one of these that's like basically out now because it's so high quality that it's expected to get some nominations and awards that are coming up. So yeah, glad you got a chance to check that out. So now we're going to switch to nightlife. First, I just talked about Elvis, so now I'm going to talk about Elvis, sometimes known as the Mexican Elvis. I've seen this guy. His show is so entertaining. This is his holiday show. He'll be in town on Wednesday, December 19th at the Elbow Room. And to diverge for just a moment, sad news that the Elbow Room that's been open since 1991 will be closing, and January 1st of 2019 will be its last day. So this is also a great chance to enjoy and support the Elbow Room in its last weeks. So Elvis, his real name is Robert Lopez. He's from Southern California. He got his start as a young teenager in the Los Angeles punk rock scene with a band called the Zeros. And he's gone on to create this character, Elvis. And he sometimes called the Mexican Elvis or the Chicano Elvis, but he's kind of evolved to, he's definitely not just an Elvis impersonator, but he brings in a lot of musical references from the whole history of rock and roll, Queen, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, David Bowie, and mixes it in with Mexican, Latino ideas, musical references, lyrics. His songs also have a kind of a social satire element, but all with sort of a tongue-in-cheek and a lot of humor. He wears a lot of costumes. There's like really fun stuff on stage. He'll probably change his costume like 5 different times, sometimes like right in front of you by peeling something off and he's got something on underneath. He's got backup singers known as the Elvets. So it's super entertaining. Also entertaining is one of his opening acts known as Chalky. He's a local guy, plays a solo act, plays multi-instruments, keyboards, guitar, looks kind of crazy. He wears like a purple robe that looks like kind of a dime store wizard. He's got big hair and a big beard. And his line that he calls himself, that he's a funky alien wizard from outer space, like Prince, except not sexy and much fatter. Well, you might still think he's sexy. He's got a lot of charisma and personality. Okay, so Elvis with one of the opening acts, Chalky, is at the Elbow Room on Wednesday, December 19th. A quick item in nightlife is a regular local band that plays around is the Highwater Blues Band, and they'll be playing one of their occasional gigs that come up at the Saloon, the legendary North Beach Blues Bar. And the Highwater Blues Band is basically a cover band, blues and R&B. They're going to throw in some holiday tunes. It's on December 21st, right before Christmas, and it's in their great happy hour slot from 4 to 8, and no cover charge. So that's another one of my recommended events.
Ooh, no cover. That's always good. And happy hour. That's always really nice. And then you were talking the previous show, that Elvis. It seems like it'd be worth going just to see their costumes.
Oh my gosh.
So those definitely sound like some great events. I have not necessarily nightlife, but an art event is what I'm going to be talking about next. And Rolf Stedman is going to be showing at the Haight Art Center. And he's going to be showing until January 20th or 21st, I believe. And so you have plenty of time to check out that exhibition. He's well known for collaborating with Hunter S. Thompson and the Gonzo Gonzo series. And then he's also known for his illustrations with Alice in Wonderland and Treasure Island. And so it's 108 of his original pieces that are going to be featured in the gallery along with an audio tour. So it spoke as if he'd be along your side and on your shoulder and giving a tour of his works along with other people in the audio. But the work ranges from 1950 to 2017. So there's a wide array of artwork to see, and I would highly recommend it. I remember having one of his posters when I was younger, and it was the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland, and he's got just like these creepy art illustrations, like inky, elongated figures, and I really highly recommend it.
Yeah, his stuff is not what you might call pretty, but very memorable.
Yes.
Sometimes super creepy.
Yeah, super creepy. I really like that creepy artwork.
Yeah.
He's got a very distinct style.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
I'm really excited to go see
Yeah,
it. They're going to be available, I think, Wednesday through Sunday from noon to 6 is when the gallery is open.
I'm going to get over there too. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah.
So one more entertainment event for me, and that is comedy. So the 26th annual Kung Pao Kosher Comedy is going to be taking place right at Christmas time, Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, December 23rd, and Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So a full disclosure, the presenter and MC of the event, we share a set of great-grandparents. She's my cousin, Lisa Gedildig, and so she'll be MCing and performing. And this is the concept that she came up with 26 years ago of Jewish comedy on Christmas in a Chinese restaurant. So it will be at the New Asia restaurant in Chinatown. And there are options of dinner shows and then cocktail shows later. But now the word has gone out, all the dinner shows are sold out. Still tickets available for the cocktail show. She always has some of her top talent that she brings in for this. And the headliner is Carol Leifer, who's known as a writer on Seinfeld. She's been on a lot of talk show and comedy shows. And joining her are also Joseph Nguyen, who is San Francisco based, and he is a Vietnamese Jewish comic. Never heard of that before. Also, Jordan Ferber as well. They always give a portion of proceeds to some very worthwhile groups, and this year those groups will be a Jewish Family and Community Services of the East Bay, providing refugee and immigrant services, and Bend the Arc, a Jewish Partnership for Justice. So lots of laughs at Christmas time. You don't have to be Jewish to enjoy it. That's the Kung Pao Kosher Comedy, the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. And so, well, there's some food in there, but now we're going to talk hardcore food. So you first, Brandy.
Okay, so one of my favorite places since I've got to San Francisco is Bob's Donuts, and it is located on Polk Street, and they just have marvelous donuts. I really enjoy them. Like we were talking earlier, they are open late, so after late night drinks, you need some carbs to soak up some of that booze. It's the best place to go. Or in the morning, they do have coffee and chocolate milk in the carton. It's so nice. My favorite is the apple fritter. If you can go there and get lucky and it's fresh out of the fryer, oh my gosh, it's just like magnificent on your taste buds. It tastes like a funnel cake fritter, and it's just fresh and oh, so good. But then they're also known for their crumble donuts, which are amazing. And they have a donut about as big as your face. They're huge. And so they have a contest there to see if you can eat it under 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and you get a prize, and your name gets to get on the list. I think it's a Bob's Donuts t-shirt. But yes, I've heard it's a favorite among people here, and I was introduced to it, and I'm definitely a diehard fan.
It's been a while since I've been to Bob's Donuts, but now you're inspiring me to make another trek there. All right, thanks for that.
Yeah.
So I've got a restaurant that has become a little bit of a favorite of mine in my neighborhood, which is the Outer Mission. So far out in San Francisco, it's almost Daly City. And the Dark Horse Inn is located kind of at the junction of Outer Mission, Excelsior, and Crocker Amazon. So it's a fairly small neighborhood place, but worth coming out of the neighborhood for, I think. They have a changing menu, so they always use fresh ingredients. They have a bar which focuses on craft beers that rotate, and they have a great kitchen. So they always have like some kind of burger, but they're always burgers with a twist. They do house smoked meats, house-made dressings and sauces. All their desserts are made from scratch. They're named the number 2 restaurant in the top restaurant pastrami sandwiches in San Francisco in 7x7. And just an example of a recent item on the menu, now remember it changes, so you may not find this there all the time, is Caribbean mahi mahi with spiced garlic tomato sauce combined with sticky coconut pineapple rice. So everything also is very reasonably priced. And it's a nice, restaurant environment, kind of dim lighting. Good for dates, good to hang out at the bar, good to bring a small group there. It's not very large, so you probably wouldn't go with a large group. So that's the Dark Horse Inn on Geneva. So that's my restaurant pick. And I think that's what we have for this week. But be sure, wherever you're watching us now, you can find us on YouTube and Facebook, 2 places where you can make comments and you can include your own suggestion for events. So follow us on all those places. And then we're going to be back again to talk about more events another time.
Yeah, sounds good. And we're close to the holidays, so
I
happy
know.
holidays, everyone.
Yes.
Catch us next time. And
Happy holidays.
We'll keep all those events coming to you.
Okay.
Adios.
Adios.